What is happening, guys? I am on my way to work today, and I am excited to talk to you guys because I'm going to tell you guys about a little addiction that I have that I can say is going to help you as well. It's a great addiction. Matter of fact, I might even call it a habit now, just because habit is a little more positive. But essentially, guys, it's about these two websites that I'm on almost all the time. Okay? One of them is called, you guessed it, Trackwrestling. Okay? Trackwrestling, I'm on all the time. And the other one is Flowrestling. Now, the big question is, are these two companies competitors? What is the big deal? They're both running tournament softwares. One of them has, track wrestling tournaments, and the other one has Flow Wrestling, Flow Arena, and we're trying to figure out, which one is better, and are they competitors, and why are they doing this, and the whole deal. Well, here's the reality, guys. I really think both of them serve a really unique purpose in our sport. And that's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on, as wrestlers, as coaches, as parents, how can we use these two platforms to benefit us more? And that's really what I would say I would want you guys focused on. What is it that Flow Wrestling offers? Well, Flow Wrestling, for the most part, I think one of the best things they do is they do amazing stories on these wrestlers. Very cool film, as far as almost movie-like, when they're talking about the backstories of these wrestlers. They're going, into the wrestling room, into the weight rooms. We're seeing these guys train. We're seeing what these guys are eating. We're seeing what these guys, are doing on a daily basis. We're seeing these guys journal. We're seeing these guys goal set. We're seeing these guys have tough times in their life, and they're sharing these really, really cool stories that you hopefully can relate to. And I know I can. Every time I watch, man, I get choked up. I love it. And I just love some of the documentaries that they have done on different wrestlers in our sport. So that is one thing they're doing extremely well. The other thing they do really, really well is they bring you a ton of technique content. Okay, I'm in here filming. I'm sorry, I'm not good like Flow Wrestling. I can't film like all these really cool angles, but I can tell you right now, I'm gonna, one of the things that Flow Wrestling can do for you guys is they can give you tons of great content when it comes to technique, moves, skills. And we all know that in our sport, this is a sport of, thousands of moves. There's a counter for every counter. If this guy does this, I do this. If I do this and he does this, and then I do this, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that is so important to add to your arsenal, is to take little pieces of technique, okay? But probably what's, more important is that you understand the wrestlers that have those techniques first had a system. They had a system in place, okay? So I'm going to leave a link down below here, okay, so that in case you're interested in getting a system, a complete done-for-you wrestling system, okay, then you can buy my complete all-in drill system down below, where I've basically built a complete done-for-you package of the most important drills in the most important positions, okay, so that you can have that foundational work that is needed before you add all the skill sets, okay, before you add, all these awesome techniques and moves that Flow Wrestling has to offer. All right, so that's the first thing I want you to think about with Flow Wrestling. Now, Track Wrestling, on the other hand, okay, Track Wrestling, man, they are, in my mind, they are like a tournament documentary for you. They're a tournament encyclopedia, I should say. Okay, they have every tournament that you could ever want to see, really want to watch, and you can log into those tournaments, select guys that you want to watch, and you can be watching your own matches, you can be watching somebody else's matches. I love to go on there and watch all the world level matches, because I love to see what some of the Europeans are doing right now, and how the US Americans, our team is amazing right now, and they are beating tons of these European countries, okay? how are they doing it? I love to watch those videos and watch the actual matches. Okay, so full matches, you know, that's probably one of the things I feel like track wrestling does really, really well. They also serve, you know, as, you know, a very awesome, you know, middleman, if you will, or liaison to other people who are running their own tournaments. So they have this ability, you know, to, you know, allow you as a coach or a parent to essentially, you know, with, you know, the few clicks of a couple buttons, run your entire tournament and not have, you know, millions of paperwork ladies and guys and gals running brackets in the back and posting brackets everywhere on the walls. And no, they just, it's simple. They have screens, they have scoreboards, and everything ties together, and they allow you to run these really simple tournaments. Now, Flow does some of that as well. So Track does some of the stuff that Flow does, and Flow does some of the stuff that Track does. And are they competitors, and why are they competing against each other? Well, here's the deal, okay? In some ways, they are competitors. I get that, but you gotta change your perspective when you're thinking about these two companies. These two companies are giving you unlimited resources to become successful. Unlimited resources to become successful. So if you want to get better today, if you want to get better tomorrow, if you want to get better this week, then you got to be on these two sites all the time. All the time. Every time you get spare time, instead of watching TV, instead of playing games, okay, jump on Track Wrestling, jump on Flowrestling, watch somebody. One of my favorite things to do, and a story about, you know, when I was young, I was always a visual learner, and I would pick things up that I watched somebody else do. So like if I saw somebody else's style, if I watched an Iowa wrestler, I would start wrestling like an Iowa guy. If I watched an Okie State guy, I would start wrestling like an Okie State guy. And I was in high school, and all of a sudden, you know, I just got into high school as a 9th grader, and I'd been practicing in the high school room, you know, since I was a little guy, like 6th grade. And so, you know, here I am, I'm watching and I'm looking up to all these high school level athletes. And one of the things that they were, you know, really, you know, one of the things is they were better than me. They had more skills and abilities. And so I'd be watching them wrestle in a live match, and all I would do is I would just copy them. And I'd be out there on the mat, and then all of a sudden I would hit a move that my dad had never seen me hit. He was my coach. He had never seen me hit. I'd come off the mat, and he'd ask me, like, where'd you learn that? And I would just, you know, I learned it from this guy, or I saw this guy do it, so I did it. You know, and that's something special that you can do on both of these sites, okay? We want to model the best if we're going to be the best. Okay? That's a secret if I can ever give you one. You want to be one of the best wrestlers in the country, in the state, in the world, on your team, whatever it is, you got to model what the best are doing. Okay? And that goes for everything, a lot of the things in their life. Not just their training inside the wrestling room, but their strength training, their conditioning, their nutrition, their, you know, what is their character. Look at their character. You know, most of these guys that are tough wrestlers have strong character as well. Those are some of the things that you guys really want to be thinking about, okay? You want to be one of the best, you got to model the best. Okay? You want to make sure that you have a legitimate chance to stand on top of the podium. Well, it's pretty simple, guys. You got to model the best. Model what the best are doing every single day. Use Track Wrestling, use Flow Wrestling, because the best wrestlers in the country, they're on those sites too. Okay, they're not just on there as, you know, filmed matches, but they're personally on there as well, studying film, okay, watching matches.